For 2 weeks, we watched 5 planets weave a pattern the sky had not held in 200 years. We told you the weave would finish, and it did. And we told you one more thing, that the first full moon after the weave would rise and show us what was actually made. That moon is rising now. The basket did not end. It soaked in. Everything those 9 days seeded went down into the ground of our lives. And a seed in the dark is invisible right up until the light comes looking for it. This is the harvest moon of the weave. It rises in Aquarius, the sign of the collective, standing beside Pluto, the planet that anchored the basket's handle. And it looks across the whole sky at something we have not seen in over a decade. The Sun and Jupiter fused into a single point of light. Stay with us, because what this moon illuminates, you helped plant. Here is the geometry. The moon comes full in early Aquarius, and a full moon is always an opposition. The moon and the sun facing each other across the whole wheel of the sky. Oppositions are the sky's way of holding up a mirror. What stands at one end is revealed by what shines from the other. At the moon's end of the axis stands Pluto, the planet of power, of depth, of everything buried. All through Basket Week, Pluto in Aquarius held one end of the handle, the question of collective power, of who the future belongs to. Now the moon, the body that rules feeling, memory, the tide in every one of us, rises full on Pluto's ground. Whatever power question the basket opened in your life, this moon brings the feeling of it to the surface, not to frighten you, to show you. And at the other end, this is the part that makes this full moon extraordinary. The sun is not alone. The sun stands conjunct Jupiter in Leo, and not loosely. At the moment the moon comes full, the sun and Jupiter sit within a fraction of a single degree, so close they are effectively one light. The king star and the great benefic fused in the sun's own sign. Astrology has an old name for a planet folded into the heart of the sun. It is held, crowned, made new. So read the mirror properly. On one side, the sovereign self at its most generous. Jupiter in Leo, the fire the basket's own ignition lit 3 weeks ago, now folded into the sun itself. On the other, the moon on Pluto in Aquarius, the collective's deep feeling about power, change, and the future. This full moon asks one question of all of us. Can the light you found in yourself this month stand in full view of the collective? And can the collective's transformation make room for your light? That is not a threat. It is an invitation to both ends of the axis. And the basket answers her. As the moon comes full, she reaches a flowing trine to Uranus in Gemini, the awakener, the first thread of the weave, and a soft sextile to Neptune in Aries, the dreamer who pioneered it. The very planets that built the basket lean in and steady this moon. This is not a harsh lunation crashing into a finished pattern. It is the pattern itself, turning its face to the light. Remember the degrees. The basket stood at 4 to 5 degrees of Leo, Gemini, Aries, and Aquarius, and this full moon lands within a degree or two of all of them. The moon is not visiting a random room. She has come back to the exact ground the weave was worked on, holding up her lantern. So walk it back with us, because tens of thousands of you arrived partway through this story, and the harvest only makes sense if you know what was planted. First came the thread, the awakener and the dreamer shaking hands, the opening of a cooperation among the outer planets that our sky has not held since the age of revolutions. Then the war ended. The square that ground through the early 2010s, the aspect behind a decade of upheaval, resolved into a trine. The same two planets that once fought, now working the same side of the field. Then Jupiter walked into Leo and rang 3 bells in 30 hours, igniting the whole pattern at its peak, handing every one of us the handle of our own becoming. Then we did something almost no one does. We cast the peak's own chart, not for a person, for the moment itself, and read what this configuration is birthing in the collective. A chart of fire and air, ignition and ideas, a sky learning to build what outlasts the storm. And at the very end, the messenger woke, Mercury turning direct beside Sirius, the star of renewal, while the moon walked the galactic degrees and the weave dissolved into the rooms of our lives. 5 threads, 1 story, and now 1 light rising to read it back to us. But before we read the harvest, one traveler in this sky deserves a moment we have not yet given her. Mercury. The messenger is awake now, moving forward again, but notice where she still walks, through Cancer, the deep water sign of home, memory, family, and feeling. And for a messenger, Cancer has never been an easy road. Mercury is the planet of words, and Cancer speaks a language older than words, the language of feeling, of what the body remembers, of the sentence you could never quite say at the family table. All through basket week she was retrograde here, walking backward through that water. If these past weeks pulled old conversations up from the deep, a message you rewrote 5 times, a memory that arrived mid-afternoon with no warning, a phone call you kept almost making, that was not the basket, that was the messenger, underwater, doing the slow work Cancer demands, feeling what the words are actually for. Now she is direct, but she is not finished with Cancer, and that matters for how this full moon speaks. She stays in the water sign a while yet, retracing the very degrees she struggled through before she finally steps into Leo's fire early next month. So the words are moving forward again, but they still come up wet, carrying feeling, carrying memory, carrying home. Under this moon, that is exactly the voice to trust. Not the clever answer, the true one, spoken quietly to the people it was always meant for. Think of it this way. Retrograde was the river polishing the stone. Direct in Cancer is the hand lifting it into the light, still dripping. If something has been trying to be said in your life since the weave began, this moon, with the messenger finally moving toward it, is when the stone comes out of the water. Now the harvest itself. A full moon has one job, to complete what its season began, and to show you the result in full light. This one completes not just a lunar month, but the whole basket, and it does so in Aquarius, the sign of the many, which means the first thing this moon illuminates is not private at all. It is what we made together. The moon on Pluto in Aquarius is the feeling of power changing hands, from the tower to the circle, from the few to the many. You have felt it all month in the world's weather, whatever headlines reached you. The doom readers look at Pluto in Aquarius and see collapse. We have shown you the data all series. The cyclic index is rising, and rising through the very years everyone fears. Structures are not collapsing into nothing. They are being relayed into something wider. A full moon here does not cause that. It lets us feel that it is already true. And the sun fused with Jupiter in Leo answers from the other shore. The transformation of the many does not require the erasure of the one. Leo's whole teaching, magnified by Jupiter to its most generous size, is that a self fully lit does not take light from anyone. It hands light around. The harvest of the basket is exactly this handshake, your sovereign fire in service to the circle making room for your fire. So if you feel this moon as pressure, locate the pressure honestly. It is not the sky punishing you. It is the gap between the light you now know you carry, because this month showed you, and the places in your life still arranged as if you did not carry it. Full moons illuminate that gap, then they hand you the choice. And because every full moon is also a release point, here is what this one asks us to put down: the husk, the version of the story where the future is something that happens to you. The basket spent 9 days demonstrating otherwise. Awakener, dreamer, sovereign, and transformer, all cooperating. Keep the grain, release the fear that carried it. That is the whole exchange rate of this moon. One more honest word, because Pluto is on this moon and we do not gloss him. Some of what surfaces this week may be heavy. Old power stories, old griefs about who got to decide things in your life. If that is you, and this month has felt less like ignition and more like exhaustion, this moon sees that too. Pluto's mercy is that nothing he surfaces is new. It was already down there, already weighing on the line. Letting it come up into Aquarius air, into the circle, into one honest conversation, is how the weight becomes compost. Even the hard feelings are part of the harvest. Now make it yours. 3 places to look in your own chart this week. And if you do not have your chart yet, our free calculator is linked below, as always. First, around 6 degrees of Aquarius and directly opposite 6 degrees of Leo. That axis is where the moon and the fused Sun-Jupiter light are facing each other in your life. 2 rooms at opposite ends of one hallway. The Aquarius room is where something comes to fullness and asks to be felt. The Leo room is where your own light has grown this month. This week, walk the hallway between them. Second, the basket's own ground. 4 to 5 degrees of Leo, Gemini, Aries, and Aquarius. If you have been with us all series, you know these rooms of your life by now. The moon rises within arm's reach of all 4. Whatever has been germinating there since the first thread, expect this week to show you the first green of it. Third, the middle to late degrees of Cancer, roughly 14 to 20 degrees. That is the road Mercury walks as she retraces her steps, and wherever it falls in your chart is where the stone comes out of the water. The conversation, the message, the naming that could not happen while she was retrograde. If a planet of yours lives there, the words may arrive this week almost fully formed. Let them. And if none of those degrees touch your chart, or you do not know your birth time and cannot be sure, the invitation still stands because this moon was cast for a moment the whole world shares. Stand in her light this week, literally if the sky is clear where you are. Name one thing that came to fullness in you this month. That is the practice. That is how a sky becomes a life. One more thing, gently, because many of you have asked how to go deeper than a video ever can. If you would like this full moon read personally, your chart, your houses, where her light actually lands in your life, we craft individual written readings for exactly this moon, one chart at a time. You will find the doorway on our website, linked below, beside the free tools. The knowledge on this channel is always free. The personal reading is there if you want this moon to know your name. And the season this moon opens is only beginning. The Sun and Jupiter walk deeper into Leo together, and in under 2 weeks the year reaches the gate the ancients kept, the 8th day of the 8th month, when Sirius, the star our messenger woke beside, rises with the sun. 2 8s, standing like pillars. If you know our channel, you know why that number makes us smile. We will meet you at that gate. And the galactic door we opened at the end of the weave, the great attractor, the galactic center, the fixed stars almost no one reads. We are walking through it this season, one video at a time, alongside the sky's living weather as it unfolds. The star maps are ready. Some of what we found we have not said out loud yet. So if you found our channel during Basket Week, and so many of you did, subscribe now, because the harvest is not the end of this story. It is the proof that the story is real. Lionsgate, the Galactic Doors, and every moon from here, that is the road ahead, and you will want to be walking it with us. The weave is finished, the moon is full, and on the water tonight 2 lights cross, the one we keep and the one the sky sends back. That crossing is the harvest, proof that what you tend in the dark comes home in the light. Gather what this month grew in you, share the grain, walk each other home,